Behold, the city of Tyre, one of the greatest cities of the age. How did you get here? You probably took one of the many ships in our merchant fleet. Our nation's trade network spread for thousands of kilometers by sea and over land, but mostly by sea. You could have traveled here from the Iberian Peninsula or even as far away as the Isle of Britain, land of the Celts. And now to the heart and soul of our Phoenician empire, the marketplace. It's fairly impressive to think that our great trading empire began with just these materials, cedar wood and the murex snail, from its decaying body which we can fashion our famous purple dye. Now you might ask, how could such a resource-poor nation become one of the major economic powers of the time? Here is why. We Phoenicians learned to adapt and learn new skills. We copied others to duplicate their businesses and sell their goods for cheaper prices, thus increasing trade with ourselves and making the other local businesses go bankrupt. One of the accomplishments that we Phoenicians are most proud of is our alphabet. Unlike the alphabets of the Mesopotamians and the Egyptians, ours is spread throughout the north of the Mediterranean, especially Greece. While your languages may be older or more complicated, our language is one that others are willing to learn and use. Our alphabet is read from right to left and contains none of what you would call vowels. The old Phoenicians first built their houses by carving them out of the living rock or solid stone. Later, they evolved into using cut stone to be added to the top of the living stone. Eventually, we learned and abandoned this type of architecture for a new one involving using detached stones put together but placed on top of the foundations made with stones that could measure up to 20 feet in length and 8 feet in width and height. Two sites in particular that used this method were the great temple of Magat in Tyre and the temple of God in Jerusalem, more commonly known as King Solomon's Temple. Phoenician artisans are well known for their ability to manipulate materials such as glass and metal, and are known for adapting symbols from other cultures such as the Sphinx from Egypt. Phoenician society contains a small pantheon of gods, the two key ones being Baal, the lord of heaven, and Yam, the god of the sea, and the two are constantly at war with each other. Unlike other religions of the age, ours did not wield a huge amount of power over the society, and the high priest is only assigned to that position for 1 year. You may have heard of our civilization being considered the first naval power of the Mediterranean. And if you have, it is true. Aside from our massive merchant fleet, we built ships specifically as machines of war and created tactics for the purpose of battle upon the sea. It began with simple tactics such as firing arrows onto the other ship before using grappling hooks to pull the ships together to engage in hand-to-hand combat. Later, our ships were designed with a slimmer, more maneuverable frame and a ram attached at the front, so the strategy of ramming and sinking the enemy ship was invented. Lastly, and one of our proudest inventions, the trireme, a ship that has 3 sets of oars and can move swiftly throughout the water without the blessing of the winds. And so, by witnessing the marvels and glory of our great empire, you can no doubt admit that it's the greatest empire of the age.